YouTube first. Hey guys, y'all already know. Subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button. Y'all know the drizzle. Okay, I'm live on Twitter, live on Instagram. Get you some merchandise at Too Much Game Podcast store. Today I actually got my merch on. Yeah, too fly to be petty. It goes without being said. It's self-explanatory. Fly niggas ain't petty, and petty niggas ain't fly. But 35 seconds in on the tube. Pause. What's going on, Vito 75781? I don't be knowing who people is. I should have sent people to the gram, maybe even to the Twitter, but I don't know what's cracking on Twitter. I was going live on Twitch, but nigga, Twitch dead. I gotta find somebody who know how to get a following on Twitch, or next time I'm on stage, shout my Twitch out or something. I don't know how to build no audience on Twitch. I gotta hit my cousin who on Twitch, but he be doing Grand Theft Auto videos on Grizzly World. But let's get the show started. Football off. Gunshots. Yes. My head itching. And then there was bass. Good evening, motherfuckers and motherfuckers. This is your host, Uncle Dolemite of the Too Much Game Podcast, live from the sanctuary once again. The Lambs is playing the Lions. I don't know if the Lions is even good right now, so hopefully the Lambs whoop their ass. I don't know, my nigga, Let me not call them the Lambs. They back in LA. They the Rams again. I'm gonna go ahead and let them niggas have their name. But I think the Rams is good. And shout out to the Rams. The homie Chris Ash from Sun State Customs, he got some shit in the works with the Rams. So shout out to him. I can't diss the Rams no more. But nigga, y'all niggas already know, dog. I'm a motherfucking Raider fan, nigga, so I don't be giving no other teams props. Nigga, it's Raider game. For that mixed by pages. What's the motherfucking deal, mixed by pages? Yeah, man, like I said, dog, I can't diss the Rams no more, man. They putting some money in the pocket of one of my real good homeboys. So shout out to the LA Rams, dog. I can't even do that no more. Shout out my nigga Aunt Daddy 909. I can't say daddy and shit, but shout out to the homie Ant. What's going on, Brett Renee all day? How you doing? Today's episode is brought to you by, again, same as last week, the homeboy Ant, comedian about this good old San Bernardino, my nigga. Shout out Ant. Last night, nigga, we did an open mic at Swanye, San Bernardino, California, over there on Highland. Shout out to Ashley, shout out to Erica Badu, the damn thing up there. At Swanye's hair bar. They locticians and shit. Shout out to them, but they throw an open mic once a month, and Ant, that nigga knocked the roof off that bitch. I ain't gonna front. That nigga Ant smoked that shit, dog. Shout out who all was up there. It was me, my nigga That Black Mike. It was Ant, a couple of Ant's partners. I don't know your partners' names, my nigga. Shout out to them other comedians though, my nigga. Who else was up there with us? Of course, London Lee. Shout out to homie London, comedy bullies. Shout out to his uncle, Big Truck. Big Truck was up in that motherfucker. We had a bunch of comics. Shout out Red Cup Reggie, uh, a bunch of motherfuckers. We had a bunch of performers. Shout out my nigga Flex from the plug, nigga. Especially shout out Flex from the plug. What's going on, Trill? We had a bunch of performers that night, but MVP of the night, performance of the night, my nigga Ant. Like I told y'all last week, last episode, me and Ant, we had a little conversation, for a couple hours and shit. What's going on, KC? Me and Ant, we chopped it up for a couple hours, just talking about comedy and shit, little pep talk and shit, And he wasn't really comfortable with his last performance at Swanye. So, you gotta motivate your homies sometime. So we had a little conversation and I'm like, do your thing, nigga. You good. You belong here, my nigga. Don't have imposter syndrome, my nigga. Step your confidence up, nigga. You cold, my nigga. You doing what you supposed to do. So, in the midst of that, in the midst of the conversations we had leading up to that shit, he was like, man, I think I'm gonna do a poem. And I was like, perfect, because I told him you want to have the type of material that the crowd wants to hear. And it's a poetry crowd. So that nigga did a fucking poem. That nigga went crazy, dog. Like literally, that nigga had a flawless performance, my nigga. What he say, yo, I took that phone call to heart. Hey man, nigga, that's what you supposed to do, my nigga. The nigga took the game and ran with it, my nigga. Like that nigga went fucking bananas, nigga. He smoked it, nigga. The nigga was so cold. After he was done, motherfuckers just left. Like half the crowd was gone, nigga. Swanye was packed. Like nigga, it's usually a packed house. That open mic, that's the dopest open mic in the Inland Empire, hands down. It ain't even nothing close to that shit. So when he get on stage, he kill it. Like London killed it. London was on the flyer and everything. Like London was practically the headliner. Ant went right after London. London raised the bar high as shit. Nigga, that nigga, Ant nigga jumped over the moon on that motherfucker. That nigga went crazy, dog. So Ant smoked that shit, dog. Like, nigga, jokes was cold. Motherfucking the poem was cold. Nigga, just his whole everything, nigga. He was out of this world, my nigga. So, today's episode is about what I had to do. Cause I'm a selfish motherfucker. Like the fuck you thought I was gonna do a whole show about this nigga? This the homie and shit. But today's episode, and it's part of, what he did as well though. Today's episode is you still got a motherfucking job to do, my nigga. Like in comedy, it's a thing that I've been hearing, since I've been in the game of comedy. What's going on? It's CJ every day. Like it's very difficult to go after a comic who killed it. Like nigga, after a comic smoked the room, it's like you don't even want to go up after that motherfucker. Like that's something that I've been hearing since I've been in comedy. And this ain't just from like new comics, mid-level. This is from legendary motherfuckers. Like there's just certain niggas you don't want to follow. You don't want to follow a nigga like Cat Williams. You don't want to follow a motherfucker like, Mike Epps or, you don't want to follow somebody who go in there and they knock the roof off. Cause now you in there like, damn, what the fuck do I do? And like I I talk about him all the time, nigga. My mentor, JP Justice, like I used to tell him, like when I was in New York, like nigga, I've always been excited to have the challenge of something like that. Like nigga, I don't mind following a nigga who can kill because that give me an opportunity to like really show like I belong here too. Same as like what I told Ant. Like nigga, after London tore that motherfucker up, Ant went in that motherfucker and was like, hold my beer. And he went, nigga, let me go ahead and take that motherfucker up 12 more notches, my nigga. To the point where by the time I got up, I'm like, nigga, I'm not even gonna do my motherfucking material, dog. Like I ain't gonna front. It's not a situation of like being intimidated when a nigga kill. But the thing is, like, as a comic, and like I say all the time, like I take one thing and I make it applicable to everything. Like as a comic, my nigga, we're not competing with each other. It's not like, oh, he did good, so fuck him. I don't want him on my shows no more. I don't want to fuck around with him no more. Like, no, I love that. Like, I was glad to see the homie smoke that shit because we're all here to perform for the audience. We all here to do a job. We all here to provide a service. If you provide your service great, that makes my performance easier so I can perform a great service. A lot of motherfuckers like they take this competition shit wrong, my nigga. Like they look at the fact that we all different people doing the same thing. It's like if he does good, that makes it hard for me to do good. Not me personally, my nigga. That nigga smoked that shit. I was like, shit, nigga. I ain't even gonna waste no material because y'all niggas got the laughs y'all came for. So the what was left of the crowd after he killed that shit, nigga, I came through the nigga, it was like vulture time for me. Like, well, nigga, all the animals is laid out, nigga. Let me just get what's left. And shit, nigga, I feasted too, nigga. Like I smoked that shit too. Because no matter what happens around you, you still got a job to do, my nigga. That's the gist of what today's episode is, my nigga. No matter how cold a motherfucker is around you, no matter what the competition look like, no matter what the other performers look like, no matter what other motherfuckers around you is doing, you still got a job to do, my nigga. It's just like if y'all around campaigning at bras and the gang of niggas is cold on their campaign. These niggas pulling up in Lexuses, Benzes, Rolls Royces, Mercedes BMWs and all this shit, nigga, and you pulled up in the Honda Accord, nigga, you still got a job to do. Nigga, you still gotta, perform your game like you supposed to. What's that? Drink God Cheesy Mac, what's the deal? Look like some possible ism in the motherfucking building. But that's the fucking thing. Like, nigga, no matter what happens around you, you still got a performance, my nigga. If it's a gang of niggas that's, 7 feet tall NBA players and it's a gang of bitches around, nigga, I'm still gonna shoot my shot, my nigga. I'm still gonna spit my motherfucking game. I don't give a fuck who around me, nigga. I got a job to do, my nigga. Like that's the thing. Like that's one of the pillars of this motherfucking show. Like I tell y'all, I don't give a fuck what's happening around you, my nigga. You should have the confidence to perform to the best of your fucking abilities, no matter what, my nigga. Like I don't believe in being intimidated by another motherfucker performing as I'm performing. Nigga, like I said, dog, like Ant put on a flawless performance. Like that's one of them things where, like, I tell motherfuckers, no matter who the fuck was in that building, he killed that shit, my nigga. Like, nigga, your favorite celebrity comic couldn't have fucked with him in that particular 10 minutes that nigga was on that motherfucking stage, my nigga. Like, that's the thing. Like, nigga, any given night, nigga, laughs is laughs, my nigga. Like I was telling motherfuckers, like, nigga, I done watched some of my favorite comics not do well. Nigga, I watched Charlie Murphy bomb. I paid money to see this nigga go in there and bomb. So it's not that, oh, his name is so big that I'm intimidated by the fact that I'm standing on the same stage with him. Nigga, I got a motherfucking job to do, homie. Like I said, like, nigga, no matter what it is in your life, my nigga, whether you a basketball player, whether you a motherfucking pimp, nigga, no matter what the fuck you do, no matter what everybody around you is doing, you got to do your motherfucking job, my nigga. You got to bring 100% at doing what the fuck you do, no matter what that may be, my nigga. Like, you shouldn't be intimidated because he's doing this at that level and he's doing this at that level. Because, like I remember when I was younger, like a little kid, my stepdad was telling me, my stepdad used to be in the pen all the time. And he, like the whole, the bigger they are, the harder they fall cliche, my nigga. But like he was saying, like, nigga, I done seen little niggas knock big niggas out. Because the fact that these big niggas ain't used to getting in fights all the time because they so used to intimidating people with their size, little niggas be beating their ass all the fucking time. So the thing is with me, it's like, nigga, no matter who I'm in the ring with, nigga, I gotta throw these punches, my nigga. Like, I still gotta get in there and I gotta do my motherfucking thing. So with this particular night, like, I'm watching these niggas go up and kill. Ant's two partners who came in there, the two dudes whose names I don't know, them niggas did they shit too. Them niggas had dope performances, my nigga. As I'm sitting here, as the night is going on, cause I went up late that night, my nigga. And like that's a thing, like I say, with comics, as you watch other performers do their thing, I could see how it could be intimidating. Because my first time going up at Swanye, my nigga, Ant killed that day, nigga. Ant went first and Ant had a dope ass set. And I was like, damn, nigga, I feel like kind of intimidated. This nigga went up and killed my nigga. I hope I don't be the first nigga to bomb. Like that's the intimidation factor of it. But at the same time, like I said, nigga, I still got a motherfucking job to do. So I'm gonna come and do my job, nigga, every fucking time. What's going on? What's that DJ Larry King live? What's the deal? And that's the fucking thing. Like, nigga, no matter what motherfuckers is doing around you, cause nigga, as I watch his homeboy go up, that nigga homeboy did his shit, big old motherfucker, nigga, wide body. Nigga look like he wear like a size 77 belt, my nigga. Like he big ass dude. Big sumo wrestler motherfucker. He came through, performed very well. Another motherfucker came in with a fancy ass camera. Nigga, I thought the nigga was just a cameraman. I didn't know the nigga was gonna do no comedy. Little dude with the motherfucking bucket hat. I don't know him neither. But he came through, did his shit, talked about fucking fat bitches and shit. Had a dope ass set. That nigga was funny. Mike came through. He did his shit. Like I said, my nigga, like every comedian that got on that stage, nigga, they killed. It was some like, like dashiki motherfucker. He had like the Akuma beads, little necklace on. He did his shit and it came through with the dreadlocks. The hotep looking niggas. Motherfuckers look like they kind of musty. But, shout out to him. That nigga did his shit like it was a gang of performers. We got this dude named Jordan. He like a guitar player. He be wearing real big baggy ass jeans and shit. My nigga like, but this nigga could sing his ass off. Like that nigga came through. He played his little guitar. Had the bitches in there, coochie all dripping wet. Nigga bitches had to go change their pants and leggings and drawers and shit after he got done singing. He getting there in my dark time. That nigga he could sing, nigga. He played the fuck out that guitar. He come through all humble and shit. Then after he get off the stage, he done fucked it all up. Got everybody in there, like, God damn. Shout out to him. I don't know the niggas Instagram and shit, but he did his thing, my nigga. Like I said, like everybody performed well. My nigga, the homeboy London, London come through that motherfucker. This nigga look like he do 1,000 push-ups a day, my nigga. That nigga look like he wake up and eat pre-workout for breakfast in that motherfucker. Like he a big old swole nigga, my nigga. My nigga look like Rocksteady and Bebop had a baby with one of the Ninja Turtles, nigga. Like just all muscle, my nigga. That nigga look like that nigga could lift up a motherfucking a Volkswagen Beetle, like nigga, like this, easy, nigga. Like he do 4 sets of F-150s on the bench press, my nigga. Like he a swole nigga, then his uncle came through, pulled up in a motherfucking old school, like Deuce in a quarter or Delta 88. Like that nigga look like the car he pulled up in, this nigga, like how you see old school niggas and you can just imagine the type of car they drive. Like this nigga probably drive a 74 El Dorado, some shit. Like that nigga pulled up in one of the motherfuckers. Like it was crazy, my nigga. Like to see this old school ass nigga pull up in this like army green Pontiac Bonneville, like a 70, 72, 73 nigga long daddy. One of them old Titanic cars. Motherfucker look like if it ran into the suburban to just duck off and explode. That nigga had one of them big ass cars, nigga. One of them cars looked like it take like a whole steel mill to build that nigga's car. That nigga car took up half the parking lot, nigga. He got one of them type of cars that it take 4 parking spots to park this motherfucker. Like that's the type of car that nigga uncle pulled up in. And his uncle came and did his shit. That nigga came, he sat down on a chair, and he talked to all of us like we was his motherfucking grandkids, my nigga. And he did his shit, my nigga. Like, shout out to him. Uncle Truck, nigga, big truck. That nigga London comes from a family of very large individuals, my nigga. That nigga come from a family of titans, giants, niggas who just big and buff, my niggas. It's like at the hospital, they get them niggas dumbbells to lift. And until they can do 10 sets of 50, they can't come home from the hospital, my nigga. Like that's how London family look, nigga. Like I remember when I met London Daddy, we was at a show at the Epic Center and I met his daddy. And like whenever I see London family moving forward, I'm only giving them niggas fist bumps, my nigga. Because that nigga London Daddy shook my hand, nigga. I thought my motherfucking hand was gonna melt, my nigga. Like I thought my hand was gonna disintegrate. Like nigga, I could feel the bones in my hand cracking when London Daddy gave me a handshake, nigga. I'm like, you don't have to intimidate me. I'm a comic, homie. Like I ain't trying to do that, nigga. I ain't trying to fuck your daughter or nothing, my nigga. Like, you don't gotta squeeze my hand that hard. But, shout out to London and his people, my nigga. Them some big strong niggas, know what I mean? Like, but shout out to him. But yeah, nigga, I went on that whole tangent for nothing. But just to say, London killed. London did his shit. When London got on that motherfucking stage, he did his shit. He did what he do with his crowd work. That nigga said, man, y'all got the hoes in here. And the bitch jumped up, nigga. She was finna storm the stage. And I'm like, that's the bravery that women have. Because ain't no way in hell no man would have jumped up in front of London no matter what the fuck London said. Because that nigga London neck is bigger than my thigh. My nigga, like London got one of the motherfucking necks, like nigga. If he was in slavery, it probably would have took like some of that big long ass boat rope to hang that nigga. Cause that nigga neck like somebody waist, my nigga. Like London is a big old dude, dog. Like, and she rolled up on London like she was finna put her hands on him. And London, he handled it like the seasoned professional comedian that he is. He was real cool about it, my nigga. He got motherfuckers laughing about the shit. Like, this shit was dope. Like I said, nigga, London killed it, my nigga. London had an amazing set. But after London did this shit, my nigga, I'm telling you, that nigga Ant came through like, nigga, hold my beer, dog. Like, nigga, as dope as London said was, cause London was funny. London always funny, my nigga. Y'all niggas shout out, my nigga. Y'all follow, I think it's like London Lee Can't Change It on Instagram, my nigga. Shout out London. That nigga London did his shit, my nigga. But then that nigga Ant came through after, my nigga. I'm telling you, like, nigga, it was like that nigga London came through, nigga, hit a motherfucking home run, nigga, out the park. This nigga Ant came through with the motherfucking grand slam, my nigga, like, BAM! Knocked that motherfucker into the atmosphere, my nigga. That nigga Ant hit the ball so hard it hit a cloud and it started raining outside in the middle of a sunny day, my nigga. Like that's how cold that home run that Ant hit was, my nigga. That nigga had a fucking poem. That nigga hit it with the signature jokes. That nigga had dope crowd work. Like the nigga he was in rare form. Like I said, my nigga, like it was one of those performances like you just wish that there were certain people there to witness it, my nigga. Like that's one of them, like you keep that video for whenever somebody asks you, like, what does it look like for you to do your shit? This right here. This is my signature performance. Like this is my Eddie Murphy Raw or Delirious. Like this is my motherfucking my Rembrandt, whatever the fuck, my nigga. Like this is that performance that you keep that motherfucker. Like you show everybody that shit. Like that's the one that you keep. So when people like, oh, you're a comic, and you just show them niggas that shit. Like, yeah, bitch ass nigga, this is what I do, nigga. I kill stages, nigga. I go crazy. This is exactly what the fuck I do, nigga. I do this shit right here, and that's the fucking thing. Like, nigga, it was dope to see. Like, it was dope to be there in person because it never does it justice when a motherfucker tell you later how a nigga like, oh no, you had to be in the building. Like you had to be there in person. Like even the video, it's not gonna do it justice as how it was to be in that venue, my nigga. And that's the fucking thing. And like I said, like the fact that he was in the moment present, and he put on like he put on. Because, like the nigga was like giving me, props for helping him with the shit. And like I told him, like, nigga, you did that shit. Like the nigga told me it's my fault. No, that wasn't my fault. That was your fault, my nigga. Like, yeah, I might have been the one, the catalyst to help you to get the confidence to do it, but you was the one who had to do it. Like, nigga, I didn't tell none of them jokes for you. I didn't write none of them jokes for you. I didn't give you no jokes. I didn't tell you nothing what to do, nigga. All I did was get you a couple little, motivators and elevators to do what you do, my nigga. It was like in Star Wars and shit. Like, nigga, you thought that it was this little thing right here, nigga. Whole time you had the force, nigga. You didn't need all that other bullshit. It was like that belt buckle on the Last Dragon. This nigga run around looking for this belt buckle, thinking the belt buckle's like the secret to the power. And it's like, nigga, you had the power the whole time. Nigga, you had the glow the whole time. All it took was for this, and that to unlock the glow that you already had, my nigga. And again, like that's what I want this show in general to be for people. Like, nigga, I don't give you niggas what to do. I don't tell you niggas what to think. I don't tell you niggas how to think. I don't tell y'all none of that shit, nigga. I just want you niggas to think. I don't give you nothing that y'all niggas don't got already. I'm just here to, give y'all those little jewels that it takes for y'all to unlock shit that you already had in the fucking first place, my nigga. Like I be telling motherfuckers, like, nigga, you wouldn't even have found this show if you was a bum ass nigga. I don't got no punk ass listeners. Cause 9 times out of 10, my nigga, if you sat here and listened to this motherfuckers, cause you wasn't no punk ass motherfucker. Like I be telling niggas about just real motherfuckers in general, like real recognize real, real attract real, real like to be around real. Fake motherfuckers don't like being around real motherfuckers. Fake motherfuckers always think real motherfuckers be talking shit, and all real motherfuckers be doing is being real, my nigga. Like suckers don't like being around real motherfuckers. What's going on, cuzzo? Brother Webb up in this motherfucker. Like that's the fucking thing. Like, nigga, when you a real motherfucker, like you repel clowns. You repel goofies. Even when you a motherfucker that's great, a person who does great things, a person who's motivated, a person who's dedicated, a person who's disciplined. A lazy motherfucker don't like being around somebody like that. Like, damn, nigga, you don't never relax. Why you always working? You a workaholic. Why you always doing this, nigga? Why you always doing that? Why you don't never have fun with us? Why you don't never turn up with us? Why you don't never drink with us? Why you ain't sitting up watching TV with us? Why you ain't sitting around playing video games with us all day? Because I got great fucking shit to do, nigga. I can't be with y'all. Like I say, like even when it comes to a real motherfucker, like real motherfuckers don't mind hearing other real motherfuckers say real shit. Busters hate hearing real shit. A buster don't like for you to tell them they did some bullshit or they was wrong. A real motherfucker respects the fact that you was being honest with them. A real motherfucker respect the fact that you could tell me, hey nigga, you got corn in your teeth. Nigga, you got a booger in your mustache. Nigga, you got snot in your beard. Like I love and respect that from somebody. If I go up on that motherfucking stage and I have a terrible performance and you come pull me to the side and be like, what the fuck was that? You my nigga, but what the fuck was that? Nigga, you bombed. I respect the honesty of a real motherfucker and I love niggas for that shit. Like I love a motherfucker who could tell me when I did something wrong. I don't like a motherfucker who I feel like you lying because you think that it's gonna save our friendship. Like I say, nigga, like shit like this. Like, nigga, this show, I'm not here to make bitch ass niggas feel good. I'm not here to make punk ass bitches feel good. I'm not here to tell sorry motherfuckers they great. I'm not here to make lazy motherfuckers feel like it's okay to be like that. I'm not here to make punk motherfuckers feel like it's cool to be punks. That ain't what I'm here for, my nigga. So if you sitting here listening through this motherfucker, especially for extended periods of time, this a long show. Nigga, this show was an hour. When niggas could tell me shit from the beginning of this motherfucker to the end of this motherfucker, I'm looking like, shit, you a cold motherfucker, huh? You really wanted to hear some real shit for a whole fucking hour. You sat a whole hour listening to this shit. Cause like I tell motherfuckers, like this ain't no hell of a entertaining show, nigga. Like, yeah, there's funny moments, but this ain't no fucking comedy show. Like I say all the time, like when niggas meet me, I barely shout the show out on stage like I should. Like I be wanting to be on the stage, like, hey y'all, thank you for laughing at all my jokes. Y'all check out the Too Much Game podcast. Don't. Cause I'm not here to make you motherfuckers laugh. I go on stage to make you niggas laugh. This show, this is like, when you shut the classroom door behind you, like, all right, nigga, it's time for the real shit now. If y'all niggas want jokes, wait till I start my other podcast. Cause eventually I'm gonna start me a comedy podcast. It's been in the works for like 2 fucking years. But it's been hard to find like a co-host, a network to host it on, and just the whole infrastructure in general. Nigga, I done already got music, created a logo and some more shit. Nigga got a whole co-host and all that. It was this fucking close to coming out and then bullshit happened. But anyway, my nigga, like I say, This show ain't for laughs and giggles and shit, nigga. I give niggas real shit on this motherfucking show. So if you listen to this motherfucker, I know that's what you came for and that's what you stayed for. So that's what I'm gonna give you. But like I said, my nigga, like I had to give my nigga Ant his flowers because he performed so well based on that motherfucking conversation we had. Like I said, nigga, I'm not taking no credit for what that nigga did. The only thing that I did was say, nigga, you just gotta be more confident, my nigga. Like, do your shit the way that you know you can do your shit. Same with this show in general. It's the same thing. Like, I'm the same way off this microphone as I am on it. The same advice that I give my friends is the same shit that I give on this motherfucking show. Just like how I say about this show being a lot of times me giving advice to myself. Like, y'all niggas just happen to be a witness to like me having those personal talks with me. Because sometimes my nigga, like, I gotta give myself a motherfucking pep talk. Like, I gotta remind myself that I'm that nigga. That I'm worthy, nigga, that I'm talented, my nigga, that I belong where I'm at. What's going on, page 1504? Like that's the fucking thing, my nigga. Like that's what this shit is, nigga. This shit is motivation and inspiration, my nigga. Like this ain't like me being like, okay, and then you're gonna make a left turn right here, and then you're gonna do this, and then you're gonna talk to this guy, and he's gonna give you a piece of paper, and then you're gonna write this down on it. Motherfucker, I don't know. Nigga, like I've talked about like in shit earlier episodes and shit, because like nigga, one of my episodes that I don't talk about enough that I should, um, that was like a big helper for me to continue in this shit because there was a time when I was looking at my numbers a lot. Like nigga, every episode I would check my numbers and see like what my listeners was looking like. And like I would tell y'all, nigga, sometimes I had 2 plays on the episodes, and that was me both times playing it twice, my nigga. Like it was literally like nobody was listening to the fucking show. So it was fucking me up the fact that it's like I know that I'm doing a dope ass show, but it's like nobody was fucking with it. So anyway, like nigga, a little later on, when the numbers were getting to like the tens and the 20s and shit like that, like a lawyer hit me up. Shout out to homie Good Counsel. Good Counsel with a K on Instagram. And like he sent me this like DM after this episode that I did. The episode was called Just Good Enough Ain't Enough. It's like a early episode, maybe like 12 or 13. And like the episode Just Good Enough Ain't Enough, the title was self-explanatory. Like, just because you reach a certain level don't mean that you ain't got other levels to get to, my nigga. Like just because you the dopest player at your high school don't mean it ain't 1,000 niggas in college waiting to bust your motherfucking ass. Just because you got motherfucking, you got into a D1 school, don't mean that it ain't niggas in the NBA that's like, all right, nigga, that's cool, but what you gonna do when you hit this level, my nigga?